Hello, everyone, and welcome to our session, our Sunday session of Divine Femininity United. I am your girl, Dr. Bianca, Miss Believe, and we are here for yet another chapter reading of this phenomenal, amazing, very expanded, conscious leveled, enlightening book, Power versus Force, written by the wonderful Dr. David R. Hawkins. This book, oh my God, we are on chapter 17, and I'm telling you, we have to take this book bite for bite. You ever heard the term, you eat one elephant, you eat an elephant one bite at a time? This is the connotation of that, right? You eat this elephant one bite at a time because this is not a book that you speed through, not in the least bit. Because number one, if we're talking about expanded consciousness and levels of consciousness and things like that, the highest that any human, according to history or science or study and things like that, the highest level of consciousness that any human has or can achieve is that of 1,000. Okay, so it grades from 0 to 1,000, 0 being death, obviously, and then 1,000 being the highest level of enlightenment. There's only 3 people, as noted in the book. There's only 3 people in the history of this existence, this planet, this species, whatever the case, that has reached the level of 1,000, and that is Christ, that is Buddha, and that is Krishna. Okay, they have reached those levels of enlightenment. The only reason that 1,000 is the only human level that we can reach in this life is because we're limited by this human suit that we're wearing. Okay, this human suit that we are adorning is limiting in our abilities to do more, expand more, shift more. Of course, when we leave this body, when we're done with this body, we're able to expand and go to higher heights and deeper depths in consciousness, right? There is no limit. There's no walls, no bounds to what we can achieve in this realm of consciousness. When we see consciousness, we just simply are. We have access to, if not, we are all things expanded, right? Like even now, our spiritual selves, our energetic selves, our true selves, we're infinite peace, infinite joy, infinite love. We're not in search of love. We're not becoming love. We're not falling in love. No, we just simply are love. We are peace. We are joy. We are abundance. We are those things. Okay. And so that's who we are as energetic beings. But this suit that we are wearing, that we're so grateful for, because had not we had these suits, we would not be able to operate fully on this plane, because we need the suit, just like an astronaut needs a space suit in order to operate in space, to stay alive, to be able to do the things that it needs to do, he needs to do, she needs to do. We need this suit as well. And so, unfortunately, having the suit, although we're grateful for it because it's so brilliantly crafted, my goodness, our hearts have never been had to be trained on how to beat. You know what I mean? The blood never had to be given direction signs on where to flow, right? Our bodies are so intricately genius built, right? But they are also on loan. They're very, very much so temporary housing. And even in that, we are to keep it, of course, as long as we, have things to do here on this planet. But we are also we need to understand that we are not our bodies, right? So to be doing all of this extra hoopla over the body, okay, we are not our bodies, because once we're done, we are done, and this body has no purpose. This body is irrelevant outside of your energy being inside of it. And so in this body, we're limited to what this body give us the ability to do. And so at 1,000, Christ was only able to reach that level. We are 100% human, 100% man, 100% spirit, just like Christ was, just like Krishna was, just like Buddha was. And for us to obtain those levels of consciousness, which in Christianity is Christ consciousness, Buddha consciousness, Krishna consciousness. Those are different levels of consciousness, not for us to be, you know, Christian. Christ himself wasn't even Christian. Okay. Buddha himself wasn't even Buddhist. Krishna wasn't even, come on now. That, like, come on. Those are man-made, pockets of limitations, more limitations. All right. So even that though, we had to expand out of those boxes in order to reach those levels of consciousness. And so even coming close to the thousand, the only people in history, as I stated before, that even were able to reach close to that was in the 700s, and that was Gandhi, that was Mother Teresa, and some other dignitarians that came before us that's now gone into back to their authentic true selves. um and it's attainable. They reach 700. This book alone, you all, calibrates at 800. The book. The book, y'all. Come on now, come with me, right? The book. So simply reading this book and digesting this book, which is why I shall not demean this book by speed reading. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. This book has to be digested. This book has to be chewed on. It has to be, oh, it has to be savored. It has to be applied. It has to be understood. It has to be. It has to be. And so far, you all, it's been delicious. When I tell you, this book has been absolutely amazing. I've offered this book and I'm going to offer it again. I know we're in chapter 17, but still and all, you can read it at your own pace on your own time. But I'm offering it in an ebook PDF version for anybody. That is everybody. Just shoot me your email. However you need to contact me, I am available at all times of whenever. Okay, I'm always here. But send me your email address and I'll send it over to you. It's free of charge to you, no charge at all. I mean, of course, it costs for me to do what I do. However, it's not, gratuities and tips are welcome. They're not obligated. It's not a requirement. So if you don't have it, it's perfectly fine. I mean, if you want to sew, that's awesome too. I don't turn down anything but my collar. Hello, somebody. But know that this book is readily available. Any book that we read is readily available for you, to you, because I am you. And just like I would want to expand myself, I want you to expand too. You are my other self. All right. All right. Here we go. We're going to go into our next chapter, which is chapter 17. And that chapter is entitled Physical Health and Power. Physical health and power. Okay. So listen in on all platforms. Thank you, everybody who's here. Matter of fact, I want to acknowledge you all. I would be remiss if I did not. We are airing live on Clubhouse, on Facebook, on several pages on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube. Welcome, 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 you all. I love that you're here, and I thank you for sharing your energy, your beautiful energy with me on today. If at any point you have any comments or anything you want to add to the conversation or the reading or whatever the case, please feel free to utilize the chats, comment sections, and things like that. I will give voice to your words and we'll expound on it. You could get a revelation that we need. Okay. Again, keep in mind, I am myself, you are my other self. So maybe my other self got another piece of revelation that I need. Hello. All right. So as I read, I'm going to jump in and do my own, rebuttals or my own revelations and those things. Okay. If something jumps out at me, I'll definitely do that. But if not, we're going to keep reading and just chew on it for what it is. Okay. Chapter 17, Physical Health and Power. We become healthy as well as wealthy by being wise. But what is wisdom? According to our research, it's the result of aligning with high power attractor patterns. Although we tend to find a mixture of energy fields in the average life, the pattern with the highest power dominates. We've now explored sufficient material to be able to introduce a basic dictum of nonlinear dynamics and attractor research, which are attractors create context. In essence, this means that one's motive, which arises from the principles that one is committed to, determines one's capacity to understand and therefore gives significance to one's actions. The effect of alignment with principle is never more striking than in its physiological consequences. Vibrant health follows alignment with high energy attractor patterns. Alignment with weak patterns results in disease. That this syndrome is specific and predictable and can be proven through a demonstration meeting the scientific criterion of 100% replicability is a fact that by now is familiar. The human central nervous system clearly has an exquisitely sensitive capacity to differentiate between life supportive and life destructive patterns. High power attractive energy patterns, which make the body go strong, release brain endorphins, and have a tonic effect on all of the organs. Adverse stimuli release adrenaline, which suppresses immune response and instantaneously causes body weakness and even breakdown of specific organs, depending on the nature of the stimulus. This clinical phenomenon forms the basis for such treatments as chiropractic, acupuncture, reflexology, and many others. These therapies, however, are usually designed to correct the results of an energy imbalance. But unless the basic attitude that's causing the energy imbalance is corrected, the illness tends to return. That is correct. That's just like cancers and all of those things, okay? People by the millions in self help groups have demonstrated that health and recovery from the entire gamut of human behavioral problems and illnesses comes as a result of adopting attitudes correlated with high energy attractor patterns. That is spiritual. Generally speaking, physical and mental soundness are attendant upon positive attitudes, whereas poor physical and mental health are associated with such negative attitudes as resentment, jealousy, hostility, self pity, fear, anxiety, and the like. In the field of psychoanalysis, positive attitudes are called welfare emotions, and the negative ones are called emergency emotions. Chronic immersion in emergency emotions results in ill health and a gross weakening of one's personal power. It's so true. Man, it's so true. How does one overcome negative attitudes so as to avoid this deterioration of power and health? Clinical observation indicates that the patient must reach a decision. A sincere desire to change allows one to seek higher attractive energy patterns in their various expressions. For instance, one doesn't get over pessimism by associating with cynics. Let me say that again. My goodness. One does not get over pessimism by associating with cynics. So here that to me says, even your association matters. My word, people. Even your association matters. My goodness. Okay. Ooh, the popular idea that you're defined by the company you keep does have some clinical basis. Attractor patterns tend to dominate any field. Thus, all that's really necessary is to expose oneself to a high energy field, and one's inner attitudes will spontaneously begin to change. This is a well known phenomenon among self help groups. It's reflected in the saying, just bring the body to the meeting. If you merely expose yourself to the influence of higher patterns, they begin to rub off, or, as it's been said, you get it by osmosis. Traditional medicine generally holds that stress is the cause of many human disorders and illnesses. The problem with this diagnosis is that it doesn't accurately address the source of the stress. It looks to blame external circumstances without realizing that all stress is internally generated by one's attitudes. I must emphasize again that it isn't life's events, but one's reaction to them that activates the symptoms of stress. As we've already discovered, a divorce can bring about agony or relief, and challenges on the job can result in stimulation or anxiety, depending on whether one's supervisor is perceived to be a teacher or an ogre. Our attitudes stem from our positions, and our positionality has to do with motive and context. According to the overall way that we interpret the meaning of events, the same situation may be tragic or comic. Physiologically speaking, in the choice of attitude, one chooses between anabolic endorphins or catabolic adrenaline. The next section, the power of nutrition. It would be foolish to claim that the only impacts on our health are those or originated internally or impersonal elements of or for impersonal elements of the physical world. It clearly find that organic is far superior to chemical. One makes you go wrong, the other does not. Likewise, have much more that seems